Hi friends, it's Terri Stewart, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in the US. Welcome to this edition of our Share Fair where we're celebrating 2 years of sharing creativity and inspiration with you. So excited to share my project with you. So whether you're watching live, and I'm recorded because I'm away from my studio again, my stamping studio, or you're watching on replay, welcome. So let me show you my cool, super cool project that I'm very excited to share with you. So as you know, we're celebrating 2 years of Share Fair projects. And my first project, so you get double everything this Share Fair. So my original project, I used hand penned with the Home and Heart DSP to create this fun fold card. Now I'm going to mash it up a bit and bring you a second version of this card, this time featuring the Wildlife Wonder, which has these amazing animal images. We have a bear and an owl and a wolf and a shadow and a little, I don't know, grassy type thing. The other great thing about this is it has masculine sentiments. So to a great guy, and you mean so much to me. So I think with these images and these sentiments that you could easily make a masculine card. But as you see on, it has other sentiments for more, all occasions, a note of thanks, the great things you do, sending birthday wishes, and you mean so much to me. So there's a variety of sentiments and ways to use this stamp set. So I'm mashing it up. I'm going to be using Crumb Cake cardstock for my base and the Symbols of Good Fortune DSP. And this is amazing DSP. So this is in the mini, the January to June mini. So we have a little bit more time to spend with this DSP. So it has gold foiling. You can see some chrysanthemums and then just more generic type patterns as this one. I mean, you can see a little bit of florals in here. It has these amazing cranes and gold foiling. And as I said, the florals, more cranes, chrysanthemums. This is a bamboo. And so I'm using, for today's project, as I said earlier, I'm using the bamboo paper, which has, I guess, kind of a, on the reverse side, but as much as I hate it, we have to hide the gold foiling. And then on this side, we have gold foiling. Ooh, this is the wrong pattern. I meant to grab this one. These are the two I'm using my project. This kind of splattery gold with gray and the bamboo. So let me bring in my paper trimmer. So we are going to cut this in half at 5.5 inches or 14.9 for my metric friends. I'm going to set that aside. Then I need two pieces that are 3 inches by 4 inches. So 3 by 4. And my metric friends, let me give you those. I'll give you those measurements in just a moment. Hang with me. So there's our two 3 by 4 pieces. So they would be 7.6 by 10.1 centimeters. We have two of those. Now for our crumb cake base, we are going to score, I just lost my little sticky note. We're going to score that at 2 1/8, and that's 5.3 centimeters, 2 1/8, and then 4 1/4, which is 10.5 centimeters. And that's how we're going to make our fun fold. Now I have, so here's our sticky note. So this is a half sheet, and it's scored at 2 1/8 by 4 1/4 and 2 1/4. Let me re-say that. It's scored at 2 1/8 inches and 4 1/4 inches, or for our metric friends, that's 5.3 and 10.5. I have pre-cut some other pieces. So we have layering for our crumb cake, and this is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, or 7.1 by 9.6 centimeters. And you can see that these pieces give a nice little border, a layer. Like that. I've cut our DSP, so we have this nice, the gray and gold. That's at 1 3/4 by 5 1/4, or 4.9 by 14.4 centimeters. And then our back piece is 4 by 5 1/4 inches, or 10 by 14.4 centimeters. So let's do some stamping first. And that, of course, is going to be on our white cardstock. And on the front, we are going to have the To a Great Guy. Now, this is going to be a birthday card, and it's going to be a masculine card. So we're going to do our To a Great Guy sentiment. I'm going to stamp the wolf image, and we're going to give him a shadow. The colors I'll be using for this, I'm going to do the soft suede for sentiment. Move a little bit of things away. So this is a portrait card. So I'm going to put my To a Great Guy up here on the left. And while I have my soft suede out, I'm going to stamp our sending birthday wishes, because this is a birthday card. We are celebrating 2 years of Share Fair, and I'm so glad you're here to join us in this celebration. And this will just fit across. There we go. Just fits in there. Nice, very nicely. Okay, so we're done with our soft suede ink. We'll bring in our crumb cake, and this is where we're going to stamp the wolf. And you know what? This is a little crooked. So before we stamp our wolf, I am going to do a redo with my soft suede. I'm just going to turn this over and try again. So this might be a little cockeyed. So let's see, which way was it? So if I tilt it down a little bit, maybe it'll be straighter. So let's see if it's any better. I think it's a little bit better. All right, that's enough for the redo. Now we're going to move on with crumb cake and stamp our wolf image. And I'm going to stamp this just kind of a little below the sentiment. And the next thing in crumb cake is going to be this little, actually I'm going to wait on this one. We'll bring the crumb cake back in just a moment, and you'll see why I'm waiting on that. So smoky slate, this picks up the colors in this pattern has smoky slate. So I wanted to incorporate a little bit of that. And this is a shadow, and I thought it only went with the bear image, but then I saw that you could kind of use it under the wolf. So get this straight. And so we'll give it a little bit of a smoky slate shadow. All right. So on my sample, I used some ribbon, but since this was a masculine card, I didn't really feel that I wanted to put ribbon on this card. So I'm doing something a little different. Grab my 3x4, these crumb cake layers. And the plan is to mount this like this, so it has a layer. The crumb cake is a layer, but I'm going to rip off about a 1/2 inch and I'm going to pull the cardstock towards me and just come across, and that's going to expose the a torn layer. And since our white is going to layer on that, we're also going to tear about the same off of that layer. So again, I'm going to tear towards me to expose the cardstock. And this one is a little over a half, 1 centimeter. And this one started at about 1.5 centimeters, but it got a little bit long. So anyway, I'm going to tear these edges off. Now this layer, our birthday will go behind it. Let's see. So this is the layer but if we put these like this and then over, you'll see the exposed here. So we need to trim them. And I'm gonna bring in my paper trimmer for that. Get everything out of the way. So I'm going to measure my white piece. I hope you can see this on camera. And I see that it's about, this longer piece comes to 3.5, but I'm going to back it up. I'm going to cut this at 3.25, cut my white layer that goes underneath at 3.25. I'll just trim that piece off. And then I'll measure my crumb cake torn layer and see what so that also has a piece that's about 3.5, but where the tear is 3.25. So I'm going to have to actually make that a little bit. So if I do this one at 3.25, I'm going to trim a little bit more off that white one so that we have a nice layer. Because if we did it right now, they're the same length. So I'm just going to move that down maybe to 3 inches. That'll give us a nice border like that. So let me do for our metric friends, let you know what we have trimmed away. So it started at, they were 10.1 centimeters. This one ended up being about 8.5 centimeters. So I would have cut this one, the white one, yeah, it's just about 7.5. And this ended up, let's see, our first layer ended up being about 8.5 centimeters after we tore it. And I cut this one at about 8.2. So we'll have this layer and this layer. I'm going to tear a little bit more off this weight so we can get a little bit more reveal on our crumb cake. So this is going to give it a little bit of a distressed look. There we go. That's more what I was looking for. And now we can, I wanted to do a little bit more stamping. I had promised you I was going to bring back my crumb cake. And we're going to stamp with this grassy, weedy. I'm going to just do a few of these crumb cake. Maybe it needs one more, huh? Yeah, that's what it needed. And I have an envelope somewhere. Oh, here we go. And I was going to put some of the wheat down here. So then we bring a little hint of what's to come inside the card. It's inside the envelope. All right, now we can start assembling. I'm looking forward to being back in my craft room in person and catching up with all the wonderful projects that my fellow sharefarers are sharing this weekend. I know it's going to be some amazing anniversary cards and birthday cards. And there you can see my initial, oops, I had to redo my redo, but it'll be covered up since it's on the reverse side. Okay, we'll set these aside and bring in our card base. So this is scored at Make Our Fun Fold. I'm going to crisp up my score lines using my bone folder. I really like my cards to lay flat, and the bone folder is the perfect tool to help with that. Just press along those score lines. So our base is this bamboo pattern. And when you're cutting this, you want to make sure, you know, that the pattern is the right way for a portrait card. That's one of the key elements. You don't want your bamboo going sideways when your card is built for portrait. And then our other piece of DSP, it's so pretty on both sides. It's really hard to cover some of these patterns up, you know, but for masculine card, I think we need to cover those flowers up. All right, so now our card base is ready to go. I'm going to center this piece right and left, top and bottom, and only adhere the glue on the left side. This is about where it's going to go. Just put glue on that side, and then center, top, bottom, right, left. It's really great. And we want this front piece to cover our back piece. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to line this inside piece up with the front piece that's going to hide it, so it won't be revealed until the card is open. And now I can put glue on this because the whole piece is going to be adhered to the back base. And I'll just flip that right over. Give that a press so that glue activates. There we go. And we're almost done. The last little bit is we're going to add some masculine embellishments. And I have these classic matte dots. And bring my pick your tool in. And I'm going to use the putty end and pick up these white dots. And I'll put just a few on the front of this card. So I'm hoping you are enjoying all these birthday anniversary birthday projects. And so here's my finished card with an envelope. So it's the same design, just with a different stamp set and different DSP. So you really can get two designs from one template. I've really enjoyed sharing my project with you. Angie's up next. And if you're watching on replay, make sure you go back and see all the other presentations. Get with the demonstrator who invited you to this share fair and take advantage of our show special where we're celebrating our 2nd year of share fair. And until next time, remember, stamping is fun. Bye.